Hi, kids.
So professional.
Welcome to another episode of Bad Pop Song, the show where we take you on our magic carpet ride into the world of film reviews and musical cringe.
Mm-hmm.
I, of course, am Bo.
And I'm Dan.
Yes.
And not only am I pressing record on the equipment, I am also here to tell you to go to badpopsong.com. Go check out previous episodes, music videos starring Bo and his lovely singing voice, as well as me taking apart this thing again when I'm trying to fix it.
Oh, you did it in the last series.
So professional.
Hey, I think we're very professional.
Where were we? Oh, yes. Other things that are on the website, movie reviews and musings by Bo. Basically, everything you want about Bo. If you want to indulge in everything Bo, that's the place to go.
Yeah.
Badpopsong.com.
And my new thing is to tell you to, while you are diving into the Bad Pop Song like website, I hope you are indulging in a yummy cold beverage, preferably a nice sweet tea.
Bo, you're so silly. Hey, and remember to like and subscribe.
Please.
Little buttons down there.
Yes.
Unless you're watching this on your TV, then you're watching me pointing at your console unit and wondering why I'm pointing out all your stuffed animals that you have down there.
So we are going to talk about another movie.
Oh, good.
Now, I'm a little late in the game. This movie's been out for a little bit, but it is still...
Define a little bit.
Well, it's maybe a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not a whole heck of a lot.
Not quite. Yeah, almost a month.
Okay.
A good chunk of April so far, but it's doing well at the box office. So, and it is still in theaters. So run out and catch it when you can. Sooner the better, especially if you are into the horror thriller genres.
Another horror movie?
Well, it's more of a thriller, but
okay.
It definitely has some horror elements.
Just very suspenseful.
Yeah, it's
eerie.
It's got a little bit of blood and things like that, but mostly a thriller. But it is more than anything. It is just a... If you want to, when those days when you just want to see something mindless and fun.
Like Pretty Woman?
Yes, but a good film. This is one of those films. This is one of those. It's a mindless, fun film that's done well. It's if you're just sort of bogged down, with the stresses of the world and your day to day, and you just want to just sit and watch something fun, and you want the fun to be good quality fun. Drop is definitely the film I think you should go see. It is directed by Christopher Landon and written by Gillian Jacobs and Chris Roach. It stars Meghann Fahy. You may have seen her in the the Netflix series The Perfect Couple. Also stars Brandon Sklenar, who is also co-stars in the hit Yellowstone prequel called 23 that stars Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. And yeah, so huge, very, very popular. Both shows were quite popular. Anyway, so yeah, where go ahead and start asking me some questions.
Tell me a little bit about what this film is about, other than it's a nice mindless suspense.
Yes, yeah, it is. It is very suspenseful and very edge of your seats. Like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Meghann Fahy plays Violet, and Violet is a widow, recently widowed. She has a young son, and she's getting back out in the dating world.
Okay,
and so she is about to go on a blind date to meet Henry.
Okay.
And they meet in this very upscale restaurant that is at the top of a very high building.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have quite the view,
Uh-huh.
where they're sitting.
All right. The view of whatever city it is that they're in.
Yeah, so she's mustered up the courage, with the encouragement of her sister, who was staying to babysit her young son.
Mm-hmm.
She has mustered up the courage to get back out there,
Mm.
and Henry seems to be a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
So they meet at Pallet, and they're sitting at their
Palette.
table.
Very appropriate name.
And you're familiar with airdrops and things like that on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
uh, during her date, well, actually, even before, while at the bar, while she's waiting for Henry at the bar, she starts receiving these drops, and they just seem to be like little pranks, So they're not quite menacing, so she's just kind of, and she's annoyed, but she's ignoring them. And then Henry arrives, and they get seated at their table, and they're getting to know one another, and the drops start to become menacing. And the drops are, not only are they menacing, but they are telling her that, like, you need to do something, or I'm gonna harm your child. And the drops are telling her, it's like, yeah, check your home camera and everything. And then she sees, like, a masked, like, assailant in her house, like, getting ready to, like, harm her sister and her son.
Oh my.
If she's looking on her phone and on her home camera, and which is what she's seeing. And this digidrop is basically telling her, you have to kill your date. I like your eyes on that. Like, I never get that reaction from you. So I think,
what?
Yeah. The digi drops are telling her, like, you got to kill your date, or we're gonna kill your son and your sister. So
whoa, that's some Saw stuff right there.
So she's got to navigate. Like, she's trying to keep this from him, and she's trying to play it off, like, because she was already kind of tense about, she hasn't been away from her son in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So so she's sort of using that as an excuse, to saying,
why
well,
she's always checking her phone.
she's always checking her phone, and on the top it off, there's this really creepy waiter named Matt, who is he's just very bug-eyed, and he talks too much, and he's just like, oh hey, oh yeah, you definitely need to, yeah, and he's just super annoying, and he's making them uncomfortable. So, and you kind of suspect him at first, like, is this, but what's really fun about the film is it's a very good observance of people. Like, she's, you get to, through her eyes, you get to observe everyone in the restaurant, from the guests who are drinking and are partaking of the food, and the staff, the bartenders.
Any of them could be in on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's this their piano player. He's kind of sleazy and says, like, some very flirty, like, tacky, inappropriate things to her. So, he could be somebody too. There's this guy that she keeps, like, bumping into. He keeps saying he's waiting for somebody, but she's like, are you really? So she doesn't. It could be anyone. But what's great about the film is it kind of makes you suspect everybody.
Oh yeah.
And when you eventually get to who the person is, you weren't expecting it at all. Yeah. And that's what's great about this film, because so many films like this, so many thrillers like this, it's a little predictable.
Right.
Yeah.
You start to figure it out halfway through.
There's nothing predictable about this film. Yeah. It throws a bunch of cool, like, curveballs at you.
Okay. So you got plenty of red herrings along the way.
Yeah, and it's but yeah, that's what's some of the fun stuff in the film. And of course, poor Henry, he just feels like, okay, you weren't ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, at this point, you know, she's given the she's given the substance that she's supposed to pour into his drink.
Okay.
And
so they gave her
and
the
she
tools she needed.
yeah, so obviously she's struggling. Like
Right,
she's just like
yeah.
she doesn't want to kill this human being, and the person won't tell her why,
Uh-huh.
other than the fact that if you don't do it, I'll kill your kid. So and everything she tries to do, like SOSs and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
she always gets caught.
Yeah.
Because the the person's been plotting this, so he can hear and he can watch her and everything.
Mm-hmm. He has
And
access to security cams and
yeah, he knows
things.
exactly. He picked the actual table that they're sitting at and things like that.
Ooh.
So every time she tries to make a move like that, and it's really cool too, because you start seeing the messages, the drops behind her head.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's really cool. So
that's neat.
Yeah, so it's almost kind of like comic booky, like graphic novelish, like
right.
I think.
But it shows their top of mind.
Right. And you see things like, ooh, bad move, you shouldn't have done that, I'm watching you.
Ugh.
So but yeah,
Maybe.
Henry of course is starting to get like really uncomfortable and annoyed,
Mm-hmm.
but he genuinely likes her.
Mm-hmm.
And so just as he is about to leave, she persuades him to stay, and that's kind of where things pick up even, things escalate even
Mm-hmm.
more. So again, I don't want to give too much away. I think
You've given away plenty, I guess.
Without too much, right? I think I've wet everyone's whistles who haven't seen it yet. I feel like, again, most people have probably seen Drop already. I was really late in the game in seeing it, but it was one of those movies that Laurie and I promised that we would see together, and we finally got our schedules coordinated. So,
right. Sometimes it'd be like that.
Laurie loved it too, by the way.
Excellent.
But yeah, it's and it's so cool, but not only are you seeing like the drops behind her appear, you get the ambiance of the restaurant. And you have like the female bartender who kind of I think there's a camaraderie or some sort of solidarity because they're women, and she sees that she's uncomfortable, and so she's just assuming that it's because of her date,
Right.
So she talks to her, and that sort of, so there's there's the supportive bartender, and then there's there's like the sleazy piano player who has like his funny moments in the film, and you see and then you see like all the, you've got like a prom party over here, and then you see like all these snobby people who just eat at this, this pretentious restaurant that's like high up in a building,
right.
And but it is really nice. It's a really cool restaurant, and just seeing, there's between the bar and the restaurant, there's like this really cool sort of like I don't know, it kind of reminded me of like Star Wars or something. It's like it's just like this tunnel that you walk through that you get, it's like it almost looks like a series of like like what an animal shell would look like, what I'm saying? It has like sort of like these layers, and it's curved, and you just walk to and from the bar and the restaurant, and that plays a really cool visual part in the film too. And of course the view of the vast city skyline, and just you definitely get an idea of how high up they are. So
I wonder if the story came out of a visit to this particular restaurant or something.
Actually, I think one of the producers maybe I know it was somebody was part of the crew. I remember reading very briefly that it is inspired by somebody, one of the crew members getting like she was just getting like these silly drops, and they weren't like menacing or anything, but she's like, oh, this gives me an idea.
Aha.
So, but yeah, it's yeah,
So,
it's a really fun film.
now
It's
the director and the writer, what other things have they've done before?
Christopher Landon. He's pretty, yeah, he's not that young. He's just maybe 2, 3, 4. He's like 4 years younger than me, I guess. I for some reason I thought he was old. He was old. He was younger. But yeah, Christopher Landon has done a lot of recent comedy horror type stuff. He was a screenwriter for Disturbia. Most of the films in the Paranormal Activity, found footage, that sort of horror series thing that he did, that they did with that. Happy Death Day, Zombie, Scout's Guide to Zombie Apocalypse. I think that's a lot of his screenwriting type stuff.
Okay.
As far as what he's actually directed, yeah, he directed Paranormal Activity, the Mark ones. Again, he directed Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. Okay. He directed the Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You, which are actually super fun movies. And no, he does a really good job at making these
just creepy ass films.
Well, yeah, but like again, like what I was saying at the beginning of the episode, they're just kind of mindless and fun, but they're good.
Yeah,
they actually have they have a good plot and things. There's no holes. There's no, there's nothing, and things just keep going. Things just keep moving, and I think that's one of the things that I liked about Drop, and so
it's like a well-made burger.
And oh yeah, that's such a great thing to say. It is one of those hamburger movies, definitely. Yeah,
it's just a really well done one.
It's a cheeseburger milkshake kind of a film. And I got to say, Meghann Fahy and Brandon Sklenar, their performances are great as Violet and Henry. And I also want to mention there's this really cool. You know me with the whole woman empowerment thing. There's this really cool sort of woman empowerment backstory with the Violet character. Okay, that is I think very important to the narrative of the film, and her arc in the film, and her her story in the film, her what sort of got her. It's more than just being a widow. There's a lot of
there's a lot more to her story than
there's a lot more to her story than that. So, and I think that's one of the things that is so well done, so well like integrated, implemented into the film. So yeah,
awesome.
I don't know how much else I want to say about this.
Well, yeah, there's one question I would like to ask you.
Oh, please.
So you're having your 24-hour film festival.
Yes.
And
you want to guess?
I would imagine that this goes in prime time.
Actually, this is a Midnight Madness.
It's that kind of film.
This is a Midnight Madness film, in my opinion. I mean, again, it's not but it's funny. I think it's not again, there's nothing cultish about it. I know not a lot of the Midnight Madness films are horror films, but there's always some kind of cultish aspect to it that that I think cult enthusiasts want. But Midnight Madness films also have a lot of just wild kind of adrenaline, just kind of just crazy, unexpected things.
Moments that make you toss your popcorn in the air.
Oh my gosh, yes. That's so great. Like, what a cool reference. Like the popcorn going into the air. That's so cool. This is why you're the co-host, because you're so creative. But yeah, no, this is definitely a Midnight Madness film. It's that it's that fun of a film, you know.
A good time for all.
And every piece of the film, I think, is sort of critical, from like the food they order to the drinks they order to the, you know, everything. It's all
thought out and matters.
It's all part of the story. So and it's just a lot of fun. And again, it's another Blumhouse film, another Blumhouse production. I discussed, I think, in the last series, The Woman in the Yard. So this is doing equally as well as Woman in the Yard is in the theater. So
awesome.
I think at this point now, Woman in the Yard has been in the theater long and enough that it's probably available for streaming at an exorbitant amount of money. And Drop may be soon, but I think Drop may be in the theaters for another couple of weeks because it's still doing quite well.
So you can get a chance to go see it.
Oh yeah,
toss your popcorn.
I definitely think this is something you should see in the theater. Toss your popcorn, or go to one of those dine-in theaters and get yourself a cheeseburger and
there you go,
and a milkshake. Don't toss your milkshake.
That would be bad.
That would be bad and very messy.
So give us a star rating.
Oh, this is 4 stars.
4 stars.
Yeah,
out of 5.
Giving this a 4 stars out of 5. Yeah,
awesome.
But yeah, Drop, once again, directed by Christopher Landon, stars Meghann Fahy and Brandon Sklenar, and a super super fun horror suspense thriller, edge of your seat, nail biter kind of a film. So
we'll have to check it out.
I still loved your eyes when I told you it's
the beauty of video. We can actually have those moments.
You know, I don't normally get that kind of reaction, dude. Usually you're just like, oh, and again, don't take this the wrong way, because this is one of the things I love about you. But usually you're just like, oh yeah, it's Bo and his movies, you know, just another one of Bo.
Well, I think it's just because that was such an unexpected twist, you know. So it's like, yeah, it's an interesting take on it.
To be fair, all that shit's in the trailers. Yeah, all that stuff's in the trailers. But like, again, if you don't see movies a lot and you don't see a lot of trailers, yeah, it is sort of a cool concept. But I did a little bit of reading on this film before I went in. I definitely was planning to see it a lot. I wanted to see it a lot sooner than I actually did. But again,
stars finally aligned.
Scheduling conflicts. Yeah. But yeah, the stars finally aligned, and I'm so happy I got to see it, and I want you to see it too. Drop in theaters still.
All right. Well, thank you for watching this episode of Bad Pop Song. Hey, remember to check out our website, badpopsong.com. Woo! For the latest episodes and links to the songs and films and shows and whatever we talk about. And be sure to like and subscribe to Bad Pop Song on YouTube. Go check it out over there.
Yeah.
Tune in next time when Bo continues to invite us onto his magic, wondrous, bubblegum world of all things media and music to make you cringe. Until then, I'm Dan.
I just love being cringy. And I'm Bo.
And he's cringy.
Stay groovy.